So I'm a pediatric neurosurgeon, and so I really treat children with brain cancer and brain tumors. And I also run a lab, and I can say that I've received funding through the Brains Together for a Cure on at least several occasions. And really, the group was one of the main drivers for me to even initiate and to start my lab back, I don't know, 9 or 10 years ago. So I can say that I would not be in the place where we are today without the funding and support that they had. So I think that's why they wanted you to talk to me.
Sounds about right. Yeah. So you been um, involved with the organization since its beginning? Since
Pretty early on. I don't remember what their first year was. I started residency here back in 2007 it was. And so I'd say shortly after that period of time is when I, first got to know the group. And so I would say, back from, kind of the earlier times, yes. And then 2010 is when I can say that I think that's when I kind of got the first funding through them to be able to set up, the lab, that I have. Um, nobody gives you money, to do things, and so you have to write a grant, you have to work for that, and you have to have people that are going to have faith in you and stuff. So I can say that having an organization, a grassroots group like Brains Together for a Cure is, very meaningful, and be able to have that support means a lot to be able to do the things that we do. So, there's multiple avenues of funding that you get to be able to run a lab. Um, and the ability to have access to that money. The gold standard that everyone wants is an NIH R01, style grant. But the part is that's not going to necessarily drive, some of the major things that we need to do. And the reason why is because it takes such a long period of time just to even go through the formalized process of the NIH. I'll submit a grant in, January, and I'll hear in next January about that, and then I have to put in revisions that I'm going to hear about in next. It seems like there's like a year, time lag behind all that stuff. So to have a grassroots organization that you can, come up with an idea and run it by, their executive, scientific group, and get funding in a much shorter period of time with, less strings attached to it, so to speak, really helps drive, some of the key findings that you may want to do. With other types of fundings, you have to have, a lot of pieces to that puzzle already figured out. You've almost had to do half of that work already, whereas, a group like Brains Together for a Cure, you have a good idea, it makes sense, they're willing, to help, kind of fund that and get things along. So you can generate some of the preliminary data that may be, helpful for that. So I can say that both types of funding are necessary, but kind of to get up and running, and to get preliminary data, having that grassroots support's meaningful, but also to have patients that, also participate in this stuff. So I go, do the walk, and I see countless patients that are there, that I've treated or helped out with. And I can just say that it's just a great community. In addition to just, the funding, it's just a great, great place to, to find supporters of just the stuff that you're working on.
Perfect.
First and foremost, we need to say thanks to all the people that are here, making all this possible. So, this wouldn't be possible without these people's support for attending, coming, donating, and having their faith in this community to be able to put something like this together. So first and foremost, it's just, thanks to everybody for being involved. Brain tumors and brain cancers is a very challenging, group of patients to treat, and families. And so I can say that we've made, great progress over the last decade, and that progress has been made at many levels, but really you can hone into some of these grassroots organizations such as Brains Together for a Cure for making this possible. I can say that, many people here at Mayo Clinic, including myself, Dr. Ian Parney, Dr. Terry Burns, again, our research would not be where it's at today without this type of support. And so I think that that's just a big hearty thanks to everybody that's helping out with this. I know all the organizers too, and I can say their tireless work and trying to organize some of this. Shelley always comes around at at some point in the year and is asking me for help with something, either to give a talk or to actually even bike ride and pace some of the runners that we've had in the past and some of the races, and having my wife help out. So it's just again, every time we have an opportunity to be able to help with this, we try to, have faith. That's the most important thing that we can do and have. Um, there's a plan for all of us, and if we just have faith that plan is gonna move forward, then that's what we need. So I think that's important, and having a community like this is very helpful, to reinforce that. So,
Yeah.
my standpoint, the doctors and staff that support Brains Together for here are just an amazing group of people, just in general. And so I can say that everybody really cares about this organization and the patients, and I can say that that's what this is all started from. And so I feel very fortunate to be able to be included in that group. So I don't know what else